Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, pulled your shirt a little tighter across your stomach, and quietly wondered, when did this happen? It doesn't matter if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or beyond. That stubborn belly can feel like it appeared overnight, and no matter what you try, it just doesn't seem to go away. You try eating less, you try walking more, maybe you've even followed a few exercises you saw online. But nothing really changes, and over time, that frustration grows. Because it's not just about appearance anymore, it's about how you feel in your own body slower. Heavier, less confident, and sometimes even worried about what it means for your health. Now here's something that might surprise you. What if flattening your belly is not about doing dozens of exercises, not about sweating for hours, and definitely not about starving yourself? What if the real secret comes down to just one simple movement, done the right way? I know that sounds hard to believe, and honestly, you should be skeptical, because the internet is full of promises that don't deliver. But stay with me because today I'm going to show you something different, something based on how your body actually works, especially as you get older. By the end of this video, you'll understand why most belly fat refuses to go away no matter how hard you try, what almost everyone gets wrong about AB exercises, and the one simple exercise that can quietly start reshaping your midsection when done correctly. And more importantly, you'll understand why it works, so you're not just following instructions blindly. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some people do hundreds of crunches and still have a belly, while others seem to do very little and yet stay relatively flat? That's not luck, and it's not genetics alone. There's something deeper going on. Inside your body, there's a key muscle that most people completely ignore. When this muscle is weak, your belly naturally pushes outward, even if you're not carrying much fat. But when it's activated properly, it acts like a natural belt, gently pulling everything inward, supporting your spine, improving posture, and helping your stomach appear flatter. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Most traditional exercises don't target this muscle at all. In fact, some of them can actually make things worse, especially if you're over 40 or dealing with back discomfort, which is why so many people feel stuck despite trying so hard. So if you've been feeling like nothing is working, it's not because you're failing, it's because you've been given the wrong approach. And in just a moment, I'm going to help you understand what's really happening inside your body in a way that finally makes sense. Because once you see it, you'll realize that real change might be much closer than you think. Now let's gently uncover what's really happening inside your body, because once you understand this, everything starts to make sense. That stubborn belly is not always just fat. In many cases, especially as we age, it's a combination of fat, weakened core muscles, poor posture, and something most people have never even heard of: a lack of deep abdominal activation. There is a muscle deep inside your abdomen called the inner core muscle. Think of it as a natural corset that wraps around your midsection. When it's strong and active, it gently pulls your stomach inward and supports your spine. But when it becomes weak, and this happens to almost everyone over time, your belly begins to push outward, even if your weight hasn't changed much. This is why so many people feel confused. They diet, they lose a few pounds, but their belly still sticks out. It's not just about fat, it's about structure. It's about support. And without that internal support, your body simply cannot hold everything in place the way it used to. Now here's where many people go wrong. They start doing crunches, sit-ups, or intense AB workouts thinking that will flatten their belly. But those exercises mostly target the outer abdominal muscles. In fact, if done incorrectly, they can increase pressure in your abdomen and push your belly outward even more over time, especially if your deep core is already weak. Let me give you a simple, real-life example. Imagine wearing a loose belt around your waist. No matter how strong the outer layers are, if that belt isn't tightened, everything will still fall outward. But the moment that belt gently tightens, everything feels supported, lifted, and more controlled. That's exactly how your inner core works. Another important factor is breathing. Yes, something as simple as the way you breathe can affect your belly. Many people develop shallow chest breathing as they get older, especially with stress or long hours of sitting. This weakens the connection between your breathing muscles and your core, making it even harder to engage that inner support system. And this is why the one simple exercise we're talking about is not really about force or intensity. It's about activation. It's about reconnecting with a muscle that has been sleeping for years. When you wake it up properly, your body starts to respond in a completely different way. You may even notice something interesting within just a few days, not dramatic weight loss, but a subtle tightening, a feeling of control, a slight flattening when you stand or sit. That's your body remembering how to hold itself again. So before we move forward, let go of the idea that you need to punish your body to change it. That approach often leads to frustration and even injury. Instead, think of this as retraining, as gently guiding your body back to a more natural, supported state. And in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this simple exercise step by step, along with daily habits that make it work faster and more safely, especially if you're over 50 or dealing with stiffness or low energy. Type continue for the next part. Now let's bring everything together in a way that feels simple, safe, and actually doable in your daily life, because this is where real change begins. The exercise I'm about to guide you through may look almost too easy, but don't underestimate it. When done correctly, it activates that deep inner core muscle we talked about, the one responsible for gently pulling your belly inward like a natural support belt. Start by either sitting upright in a chair or lying comfortably on your back. Relax your shoulders, soften your face, and take a slow breath in through your nose. Then as you exhale slowly through your mouth, gently draw your belly inward, as if you're trying to bring your navel closer to your spine. Not forcefully, not by holding your breath, but in a calm, controlled way. Hold that gentle contraction for about 5 to 10 seconds while continuing to breathe normally, then slowly release. At first, it may feel subtle, almost like nothing is happening, but that's completely normal. This muscle is deep and often inactive, so the goal is not intensity, it's awareness and consistency. Repeat this for about 8 to 10 times, once or twice a day. Over time, you can gradually increase the duration and even practice it while sitting, standing, or walking. Here's where it becomes powerful. As you build this habit, your body starts to naturally engage this muscle throughout the day. When you're standing, when you're getting up from a chair, even when you're walking, your core begins to support you without conscious effort. This is when you start noticing that your posture improves, your lower back feels more stable, and your belly begins to look flatter without you trying. Now let's talk about a few simple habits that can quietly speed up your results. First, pay attention to your posture. When you slouch, your belly naturally falls forward. But when you sit or stand tall, your core has a chance to activate properly. Second, slow down your breathing. Practice deep, gentle breathing that expands your lower ribs instead of just your chest. This reconnects your breathing with your core. Also, be mindful of overeating, especially at night. Large meals can stretch the abdominal area and make it harder for your core to stay engaged. You don't need strict dieting, just lighter balanced meals and giving your body time to digest properly. And finally, stay consistent. This is not about doing more, it's about doing it regularly and correctly. There are also a few common mistakes I want you to avoid. Don't suck your stomach in aggressively and hold your breath. That creates tension and does more harm than good. Don't rush the exercise or expect instant dramatic changes, because this works from the inside out. And most importantly, don't give up too soon. This is a gentle process, but a very effective one when you allow it time. Many people who start this practice notice a shift within a week, not just in how their belly looks, but in how their body feels. A little lighter, a little stronger, a little more in control. And that feeling is often the beginning of lasting change. In the final part, I'm going to help you connect this small daily practice to a bigger picture of health, confidence, and long-term well-being, so this doesn't feel like just another exercise, but a step toward feeling like yourself again. Type continue for the final part. And now, I want you to pause for a moment. Not to judge your body, not to criticize it, but to simply listen to it. Because your body has never been working against you. It has been adapting, protecting, and doing its best with what it's been given over the years. That belly you've been worrying about, it's not just a problem to fix, it's a signal. A quiet message that something deeper needs attention, support, balance, reconnection. And the beautiful thing is, your body is incredibly responsive, even now. No matter your age, no matter how long it's been, it can still change. What you've learned today may seem simple, almost too simple compared to everything you've tried before. But that's often how real, lasting change begins, not with extremes, but with small, consistent actions that work with your body instead of against it. That one gentle exercise, that mindful breath, that slight adjustment in posture. They may not feel dramatic in the moment, but over time, they create a powerful shift. Imagine waking up a few weeks from now and noticing that your stomach feels a little tighter, your posture a little straighter, your movements a little lighter. Imagine standing in front of the mirror again, but this time without that same frustration. Maybe even with a quiet sense of progress, of hope. That's not unrealistic. That's exactly how this process unfolds when you stay consistent. And more importantly, this isn't just about a flatter belly. It's about feeling stable when you walk, confident when you stand, comfortable in your own skin again. It's about reducing strain on your back, supporting your organs, and giving your body the foundation it needs to stay strong as the years go on. So don't rush this. Don't pressure yourself to be perfect. Just begin. Start with a few minutes a day. Stay patient with your body. Celebrate the small changes because they are the ones that last. And remind yourself that progress is happening, even when it feels slow. If this helped you see your body in a new way, then stay connected. There's so much more you can do to support your health, your strength, and your confidence, one simple step at a time. And if you found value in this, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how this journey feels for you because you're not alone in this, and every step forward matters. Take care of yourself gently, patiently, and consistently, because your body is still capable of more than you think.